Hi guys, Tim again with Southern Exposure. Welcome to another episode. What we're planning on doing today is we're going to end up cutting up some 2-inch material, various widths. Some could be 2x4s and some could be 2x6s. Once again, the wood that we're using for this is just the stuff we ended up picking up on the side of the road for free. So all this lumber we get off of it, all we're doing is basically paying for our time, the fuel, and the blades. That's really it. So, with that said, let me go ahead and show you the logs we're going to end up cutting up today. Okay, one of the logs we're going to end up cutting up today is this 12 foot right here. It's about 11 inches in diameter, virtually no bark on it. It's pretty dry. Roughly around 16%, 15 and a half to 16% moisture content. So that's not that bad. So it's going to require very little time sitting inside the dryer shed before we end up sticking it inside the mill to sanitize it. So, or inside the kiln to sanitize it. So it's not that bad at all. I can tell it's 12 footer because of the orange paint right here on the end. The juvenile wood is probably about 2.5 to 3 inches in diameter, and the grain in here is very tight. So all in all, this is going to make some really nice probably 2x6s out of it. So, all right, let's look at the next one. Okay, this right here is the next one. On the small end, we're looking at about 7 inches. This is obviously a treetop. You can tell because of all the limbs that are on it. Me, myself, I really don't like cutting these small logs like this. I really don't. I prefer something probably about 18 to 20 inches in diameter. To me, that's the easiest to run. You get the best yield, the ease of cutting, and everything that's with them. So, well, this is probably going to end up making a 4x4 or maybe a couple 2x4s or something like that. This is a 10 footer. It's got the blue paint on the end, so I know it's over 10 foot and under 11. So with that said, let's go ahead and check the mill out, make sure the mill's good to go, and let's kick this off. Alright, so now that we ended up getting the mill all lubed up, we got her fueled up, 12 gallons of fuel inside the can, ready to rock and roll. Oil level's good, everything's good on it. Why don't we go ahead and fire this thing up? Let's go ahead and get these logs cut up, see what we can get out of them. So do me a favor, kick back, relax, grab yourself a glass of sweet tea, and take in a little bit of Southern Exposure. Alright, now that we ended up getting those cut up, let's go ahead and take a look at those so I can show you what kind of lumber we're getting out of this. Now keep in mind, we got one flitch we'll edge down and get another 2x6 out of. And we got another flitch that we'll end up edging down and we'll get a 2x4 out of. So all in all, this thing resulted in one 2x4 12 and 6 2x6 12s. So let's go ahead and take a look at the wood. I think the lumber we got off of this is pretty good, considering. We got a little bit of denim staining in there, some somewhat large knots, nothing too spectacular though. We got a little bit of pine beetle damage right there. It's not that bad though. But all in all, I would say that this is pretty good yield out of one small log that was thrown on the side of the road. Okay, so now that we got that log out of the way, we're going to go ahead and stack this stuff off to the side, and let's go ahead and get this other this treetop up there. I'm not too confident in the type of wood we're going to get off of it. Because one, it is a treetop. That means there's a lot of limbs. Limbs equal knots. Knots equal weak points in the lumber. So I'm not too confident in what we're going to get out of it, but whatever we do get, we're going to end up trying to make the most out of it. So let's go ahead, stack this stuff off to the side and get this other one chalked up inside the mill. Okay, as you can see, this is a male log, as Mark and Eddie over on Mark Galici's channel. It's a male log, as they call it. The first cut that I'm going to make is I'm going to remove as much of that as I can. I got a couple stobs over here on this end and one big one right here and a stob over there. I'm going to try and remove as much of that as I possibly can, and we're just going to cut this up into a 4x4 because I don't think anything outside of that is going to be of much value. There's quite a bit of carpenter bee holes inside of this. Got quite a few of them right in here and a few of them down there. So we're going to do everything we can to go ahead and cut all that stuff out. So let me go ahead and put my eyes and ears on, fire up the mill, and let's go ahead and chop this off. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at that log, see what we got out of it. 4x4, it ain't that bad. ain't as bad as I thought it was going to be. There is quite a bit of pine beetle larva that was in there. I think I killed them all whenever I cut them in half, but anyway, let me go ahead and show it to you. Not too bad. Pretty good square edges. Decently smooth cut. We got a little bit of denim staining going in there. There's one of the pine beetle larvas right there. I ended up killing him. And all the rest of these, I cut them in half. So it's not bad. It's got some pine beetle damage in it. But it being creosote, once it comes out of the kiln, it being creosote, it should be good to go, at least for a fence post. So anyway, so what we'll end up doing, we'll stick that inside of the kiln. We'll sanitize it, kill anything that's in there, and let it air dry for probably about 3 or 4 weeks. Stick inside the kiln, sanitize it, kill everything that's in there or on there, and then we'll bleach the wood and get a creosote so it can be used for a fence post for one of these farmers around here. I know somebody will buy it. But anyway, I'll probably end up selling it as a cold grade just because all the pine beetle damage is on it. So anyway, I hope you've learned something from this. I hope it was somewhat educational. I'm sweating like a pig. It's like 74, 75 degrees out, and I'm sweating like crazy. I think it's from the coronavirus. My family's period of quarantine is over, and we exceeded it by a couple days just in case. But it still lingers on. Still hard to catch my breath sometimes. I got to run quite a bit slower to do things. So with that said, I hope this has been entertaining. I hope it's been somewhat educational. You've learned something from it. We appreciate the 360 plus subscribers we have. Thank you very much. And how about doing us a favor? Go ahead and hit that like if you haven't liked the video. It really helps us out here at the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. I'll be sure to answer it as soon as I possibly can. So with that said, God bless. Have a good day.